Hello. Uh, I'm here now in Rome, suffering from some cough and colds. And this is our makeup class, no? A sort of makeup for the lessons that we're supposed to discuss. I know, meron kayong mga tanong na, Father, ano na nangyari sa atin? Ba't di na tayo nag-meet? Bakit hindi ka na rin nakapag-post, no? Ng even ng EVM na video recordings. Yun nga, I apologize now that many things have happened. And well, particularly, I was occupied with many responsibilities na ibinigay sa akin. I didn't expect really that ganun siya magiging ka-tedious, no? To the point that I was not able anymore to meet you since the second week of November. And also, well, I attempted, no, to meet you sana on-site yung 1 week of November. I think it was the last week. Unfortunately, ang AB naman ang nag-EVM, no? So, walang on-site class. And also, it turned out that week, naging occupied din ako with so many things. So, hindi rin ako nakapag-post ng video recording. I acknowledge, no, and recognize na itong pagpo-post ko ng video is already anticlimactic. Sasabihin niyo, Father, naku, ano ba yan? Paskuhan na. So we just like to end na, no, the class. Okay. I apologize, no, for the delay of this video recording and yeah, and the follow-up sa ating lessons. Well, we just have to close, no. Allow me, no, with this video recording at least to close. Sabi nga nila, mahirap ang walang closure, no? So, close na natin yung lessons. And in particular, the lessons that we're going to take up in this recording are the following. So, a review of freedom. So, that was the last topic that we've discussed. And then, the implications of freedom, of being a person, image of God, and dignity. And a note on relationality. And lastly, something about happiness. Okay, so yun yung magiging coverage also of the final exam, which will be relatively easy, I think, no? I'm going to say something about that towards the end of this video. Okay, so yan yung these four topics will be the coverage of this video recording and also the final exam. Ngayon, the other lessons, which unfortunately, yeah, due to time constraint, di na natin madidiscuss, I'm going to give you something about that, in particular about evolution and sexuality and gender issues, but they are not anymore going to be part of the final exam. Okay? So, may bibigyan ko materials, pero nga, hindi na siya kasama sa final exam. This is sort of review, no? This is the last lesson. So, freedom. And we take the notion of St. Thomas Aquinas, no, on this. And sabi ni St. Thomas, freedom first is a ability of the will. Okay, so maalala natin yung ating rational faculties, intellect, it pursues the truth. And on the other hand, the will is the one responsible for pursuing what is good. So yung freedom is the ability of the faculty, the will, yung kalooban, to choose between different options. So basically, it's about choosing, no, between different options, particularly in accordance with reason and with one's own nature. So hindi lamang siya free ako kasi I can choose. So hindi lamang yan. So yes, it's a freedom to choose between different options, but it should be in accordance with reason. So ito ba ay nasa katwiran at ito ba ay naaayon sa kung ano ako. So meaning, in particular, with one's own human nature. So yung kalayaan, yung freedom, is the ability of the will to choose, pero in accordance with reason and with human nature. Now, it is not merely the capacity to act without constraints. So sa inyong general na notion natin ng freedom, malaya ako kapag nagawa ko yung gusto ko nang walang pumipigil sa akin. Okay? So that's the basic notion of freedom. Pero it's not only that. It's part of that, but it's not only that. So, gaya ng sabi natin kanina, do sa first point, it is the power to choose the good or the bad. Okay? Pero guided by rational deliberation. So yung pag-iisip, yung ay napaka-importante, no? For us to be declared na we are free in doing something. And then lastly, true freedom is found in acting in accordance with reason, gaya ng nabag natin, and the natural law. So meaning, with one's own nature, which leads to human flourishing and the ultimate good. So ito masusunod na slide, hindi natin siya discuss in detail, pero yung mga references sa work ni St. Thomas, which is the Summa Theologiae, nandiyan sa baba. Last time, nasabi natin that with great power comes great responsibility. So, a line from Superman. So, if we take freedom as a power of the human nature, of human persons, so therefore, it's also a great responsibility. No? Now, moral responsibility is tied to freedom. Bakit? Because one can only be held accountable or responsible for actions that were freely chosen. So meaning, I think this is very important, no? Masasabi lang na we are accountable, we are culpable, we are responsible for something if that action that we have done was done freely. Okay? So halimbawa, kapag sinabi na uh, ikaw ay gumawa ng isang bagay pero merong threat, no? Sabihin, ikaw ay tinatakot o kaya naman ay ikaw ay pinapuwersa, no? With force. So, maaari natin sabihin na at some point, you are not really free to do that action. So, therefore, you cannot be held responsible for that action. Of course, there are many nuances, but generally, that's it, no? So, if you are have done something and you are not free in doing that. So you are not accountable, you are not morally responsible for that. On the other hand, it also includes na dito natin makikita no yung relation ng intellect and will. So another implication na pwede natin idagdag dito is that if you have done something and you are not fully aware, meaning don't have full knowledge or you are ignorant of some details of in relation to that action, also you cannot be held morally responsible for that. Okay, so ibig sabihin, halimbawa, yung mga bata, no? So, may nagawang masama ang isang bata, pwede natin siyang palusutin in a way, no? Bakit? Sapagkat hindi pa niya naiintindihan ng lubusan, no? Kung ano yung kanya nagawa. Now, responsibility requires that an individual has the capacity to choose, kaya nang nabanggit natin, and this action chosen aligns with reason. So, importante yun. So, hindi lamang siya between choosing, but it should align with reason. The freedom comes with the responsibility to act according to reason in nature, kaya nang nabanggit natin, which reflects God's design for human flourishing. So, meaning, if we do things freely, that means having this capacity to choose and acting according to reason, no? And nature will reflect God's design, kalooban ng Diyos, yung disenyo ng Diyos, no? Para sa atin. Now, another implication of freedom is that it must be exercised in alignment with the common good. Okay? So, hindi lamang ito, kung ano yung gusto kong gawin, kung hindi, ito din ay naka-align sa kabutihan ng nakararami. So, sa kabutihan ng lahat, the common good. It is the ability to act in accordance with reason, moreover, which promotes the good of the individual and the community. So, hindi lamang ito tungkol sa isang tao, hindi lamang ito tungkol sa ilang tao, kung hindi, it's for the common good, the good of the community. Now, an interesting question is that there's no conflict between, is there a conflict between God's providence and His sovereign, which is His sovereign control over events and human freedom? So, nabanggit na natin ito sa ating mga previous classes before the prelims. So, kung si God, alam naman niya lahat ng mangyayari, He has sovereign control over all things, eh meron pa bang freedom? So, kung alam naman ni Lord na after ng exam ay babagsak ako, bakit pa ako magre-review? Halimbawa, no? So, ano pa yung saysay ng pagdarasal, halimbawa? Ano pa yung saysay ng pagsusumikap, ng paghahanda, kung lahat naman ay nangyayari according to God's providence. So, meaning, hindi na ako, kung ganun yung sitwasyon, meaning, hindi na ako malaya na gawin kung ano yung gusto kong gawin. Kasi everything is already predetermined, everything is already given by God's providence. So, but there is no conflict between God's providence and human freedom. So, paano yun? Excuse me. As God providentially governs everything, human beings still act freely with the scope of divine providence. Okay? Uh, so what does that mean? Okay, so si God, He providentially governs everything. Okay? Alam naman niya lahat ng mangyayari. But still, we can consider that human persons are free. So paano yun? Una, hindi natin dapat i-equate yung pag-iisip ng Diyos sa pag-iisip ng tao. Meaning, so kung the way we think, of course, the way we operate is we have the past, present, and future. Para kay Lord, in relation to His providence, everything is just in present. Okay? So medyo mahirap siyang maintindihan kasi nga, that's the way we humans are. So meron past, present, future. So kay Lord, walang ganon. He's beyond time. Okay? So, nasasabi natin na alam na niya kung ano yung mangyayari in relation to us. Meaning, kasi ganun tayo mag-isip. Kasi ganun tayo, ganun na yung takbo ng buhay, no? So, merong hinaharap, merong future. Pero kay Lord, everything is just present. Okay? He is beyond time. So ngayon, as He providentially governs everything, nandun pa rin naman yung human freedom. What does that mean? Okay, so siguro maaari tayong magbigay ng halimbawa. Halimbawa, si Mama Mary, o si Immaculate Conception, we have just celebrated. And of course, her giving birth, no? Which will celebrate Christmas. And also Judas Iscariot. Okay, si Judas, no? So, one of the 12 apostles who betrayed Jesus. Okay, so si Mama Mary ba, halimbawa natin pwede tanong, si Mama Mary ba ay free to say yes or no sa sinabi ni Angel Gabriel, which is maglilihi siya, paglilihi niya ang anak ng Diyos. So, free ba siya doon? Ang sagot ay yes. Okay? So, pwede siyang maghindi. Pero, kaya bakit natin sinaselebrate, no? Bakit ganda lang yung, kumbaga, regard natin kay Mama Mary? Because sa pagsasabi na ng yes, she freely, no? Said yes to God's will, ay she aligned, no? Herself to the will of God. So, malaya siya doon. Okay? And ngayon, on the other hand, si Judas Iscariot, malaya din ba siya na magsabi na hindi niya or tumanggi na ibebetray niya si Jesus? Yes. But unfortunately, according to uh, the sacred scriptures, ay kumbaga, he said yes, no, to the other side. So that's why he betrayed the Lord. But at that moment, so he is free to say yes or no also. Okay? So, ibig sabihin nito, in relation to providence, si Lord, yung plan of salvation, yung providence, okay, nakadetermine na yan. Okay. Pero, kasama sa providence na yon yung kalayaan ng tao. So, si Mama Mary, si Judas, pareho silang malaya at that moment in the history of salvation. So, kung malaya sila, ay hindi, kumbaga hindi sila parang puppet, no? Lahat ng tao hindi parang puppet ng Diyos na nakadetermine na naman lahat eh. Okay, so kasama sa providence na yon ni Lord yung kalayaan ng tao. So meaning, nakikita ni Lord yung, sabihin na natin na nakikita ni Lord yung different probabilities. Okay? Na okay, so pwede siyang mag-yes, itong tao na to, pwedeng mag-yes, pwede mo no. Yung tao na to, pwedeng sumunod sa akin, pwedeng magkasala. Okay, so lahat yun nakikita ng Diyos. Mahirap siya maintindihan para sa atin kasi nga, we live in the present. So, kumbaga one dimension lang. Pero kay Lord, kumbaga para bang uh, naka-play, no? Kumbaga sabihin natin, no? Parang mayroong malaking screen si Lord at naka-play yung past, present, and future. Lahat yun nandun. Okay? It just so happen na para sa ating mga tao, yung understanding natin, yung kapasidad natin na para intindihin yun, may doon lang sa present. So, present, ang tinitingnan natin, yung nangyari, tinitingnan natin as past, yung mangyayari, tinitingnan natin as future, pero kay Lord, isa lang yan. Okay? So, God permits human freedom so that humans can act morally, thereby fulfilling their potential for good. So, yun nga, hindi puppet ang mga tao. So, hindi siya puppet ng Diyos. So, pinapayagan ng tao, ng Diyos, yung tao na maging malaya so that siya mismo yung may capacity na ah, o siya mismo yung pipili sa kung ano ang mabuti. Now, this freedom, meron siyang implications, no? At ito yung lesson natin, proper for this video recording. So, yung nabanggit natin about freedom, medyo review lang siya kung ano man yung na-discuss natin dati. At uh, so ito yung tatlong implications ng freedom. So una, yung human being is considered a person. So bakit kino-consider na person ng isang tao? It's because of freedom. Pangalawa, yung kanyang pagiging image of God. At pangatlo, dahil dito, sa lahat ng ito, freedom, person, and being image, siya ay merong dignity. Nababagay ko sa inyo before, no, na kapag ginamit ko yung salitang man, human being, human person, ay pare-pareho lang. We refer to the same being. Okay? So, but and in general, human being man, sabi natin, ang definition niya according to Aristotle ay rational animal. So, man is rational animal. Animal siya, he belongs to the animal kingdom, pero ang pinakaiba niya is that he is rational. So, meaning he has intellect and will. So, it's like other animals, merong body, merong soul. It just so happen na yung sa mga plants and animals, the soul dies with them when they die. But for the human being, the soul exists even after death. No? So why? Because it is rational. So man has a soul that is rational, giving rational faculties of intellect and the will. So that's basically the definition of a human being. It's a rational animal. Ngayon, paano naman human person? So, bakit Father, ginagamit mo din yung salitang human person? So, it's a technical term. So, a person, para kay St. Thomas, coming from, kumbaga, citing or quoting yung another medieval philosopher who is Boethius, a person is an individual substance of a rational nature. So, medyo technical siya. Ang gusto lang naman niya sabihin ay yung tinatawag natin na person ay isang being, isang substance na kayang tumayong mag-isa. So anong implication? So halimbawa, ah meron kasi tinatawag na substance and accidents. So without going too deep no sa philosophy ni Aristotle and St. Thomas, yung accidents halimbawa ay qualities, no, characteristics. So yung qualities, yung characteristics na ito ay they depend para sila mag-exist. Nakadepende sila sa isang being na kayang magtumayong mag-isa at ang tawag doon sa being na kayang tumayong mag-isa ay substance. So halimbawa, yung quality of being red, pula, color, pula. Okay, so yung being red, hindi siya tumatayong mag-isa. Okay? So yung quality, yung characteristic of being red, wala tayong nakikita na halimbawa na pula na naglalakad, na pula lang. Okay? So yung pagiging pula, yung pagiging red, kumbaga, naka-attach siya, no? Sa isang bagay, sa isang being na tumatayo mag-isa. So, kaya sinabi natin, no, meron tayo. Halimbawa, yung red ay makikita natin sa isang red book. Halimbawa, ang isang libro, may cover na kulay red. Red apple, halimbawa. So, so yung apple, yung book, yun yung substance. Yun yung tumatayong mag-isa. Ngayon, yung red, which is the quality, the characteristic, depends on that substance, no? So, nakadepende, nakasalalay siya, no? Kumbaga doon siya nakatayo sa substance na iyon. Ngayon, so balik tayo sa definition, a person is an individual substance. So, meaning, yung person ay being na kayang tumayong mag-isa as an individual. Okay? Ngayon, itong being na ito na kaya tumayong mag-isa is of a rational nature. It has a rational nature. So, meaning, persons are substances, no? which has rationality. Okay, so rational nature allows for self-awareness and the ability to make moral choices. So, ano yung implication ng rational nature? Meron siyang intellect, meron siyang will. So, ano yung implication ng intellect? He recognizes that he is aware, he is knowing something, and also he has the ability to choose between or to make moral choices. So, ang ibig sabihin nito, plants, animals, una, they are not really self-aware that can make sense, no, of their existence. Pangalawa, they don't really make moral choices. Okay, so kahit kung yung aso mo, kinain yung sinelas mo, kinagat yung sinelas mo, nasira, pinagalitan mo, okay, so it may show some sort of remorse, pero hindi naman niya talaga naiintindihan na mali yung ginawa niya. Okay? At hindi niya talaga tunay na naiintindihan, hindi siya aware, no, na mali iyon at wala din siyang ability to make moral choices in the future. Na okay, so this is something bad. I should not do it in the future. So of course, yun nga, you can teach the dog some discipline, but not to the level of a person. Okay, so that's a feature of being rational, of being a person. So self-aware and can make moral choices. Okay, so in the philosophy theology of St. Thomas, meron tatlo. So tatlong kinds of persons. The divine persons, so kaya nga tinatawag natin na yung ating Holy Trinity, ang Santissima Trinidad, ay one God in three persons. So it's a bit technical, but that's the point. Okay? So three persons in one God. So they are divine persons. Pangalawa, meron ding angelic persons. So these are the angels. So angels also are self-aware and they can make moral choices. And lastly, do sa list ay of course the human persons. Okay, so kaya kapag ginagamit natin yung person na term kay St. Thomas is actually is a term which connects us not to animals, not to plants, but to the beings higher than us. So kung maalala natin yung hierarchy of being. So yung person pala, it's a term which connects us to God and to the angels. Now, okay, so question. So if rationality, Father, is what defines personhood, sabi natin, no? Person is individual nature, a substance of rational nature. So kung rationality, yung pag-iisip, it is what defines personhood. Paano naman yung babies? Paano naman yung mga tao na may intellectual disabilities? Paano naman yung mga taong nakakalimot na meron ng dementia o Alzheimer's? Paano yung mga nasa coma? Paano yung mga ganong tao na may sakit? Okay, so ibig sabihin ba dahil in this case, babies hindi pa develop ang kanilang rationality. Yung mga may intellectual disabilities, of course, impaired yung kanilang rational capacities. Ganun din yung mga people in dementia. Ganun din yung mga nasa coma, no? Sabihin, hindi gumagana yung in operation, no? Yung kanilang rational faculties. Ang tanong ay, can they still be considered as persons? Okay? So, medyo mabigat siya na tanong, no? Kung rationality pala yung basihan ng pagiging tao, paano naman yung mga kapatid natin na ganito? Okay, so balik tayo sa definition, no? A person is somebody with rational nature. Okay? Now, we have to distinguish between the nature and the actual operation. So meaning, yung babies, yung mga tao na may kapatid natin na may intellectual disabilities, yung mga tao may dementia, nakakalimot na, yung mga tao na nasa coma, they are given rational nature. Okay? So, they have this rational nature sa pagiging tao nila. It just so happens that at this point in time, ay hindi in actual operation yung kanilang rationality. Okay. So, baga, we distinguish that. So, hindi ang basehan ng pagiging tao ay kapag nagagamit yung capacity na ito to rationalize or to think or to ano tawag dito, to uh, make use, no, of one's intellectual capacities. So, hindi yung actual operation, kung hindi yung nature yung pinag-uusapan natin. So, ibig sabihin, yung babies, yung mga taong may intellectual disabilities, may dementia, of course, they are persons. Why? Because they are given this rational nature, although this rationality is not in actual operation at this point in time. Okay? So, and this, yung ganong kasimple na definition of person, individual substance of rational nature, actually, it gives us a inclusive, no? Pinag-usapan natin ngayon lagi inclusivity. In that sense, it gives us an inclusive view of person in St. Thomas. No? Meaning, hindi tinatanong kung ikaw ay hindi pa fully developed ang iyong intellectual capacities. No? Hindi tinatanong kung ikaw ay, kumbaga, na-develop yung intellectual capacity tapos nag-deteriorate later on. So, hindi yun yung, ano, so, and hindi yung kasama sa definition ng person. So that's why we can say that there's an inclusive, no, view of person in St. Thomas. That neither gender, race, color, or religion is in the definition of person. So meaning, ganun din, by extension, so hindi tinatanong kung ikaw ay babae, lalaki, or kung ano man ang gender preference mo. Hindi tinatanong kung ikaw ay puti or brown race or coming from the black race, halimbawa. Hindi rin tinatanong kung, yeah, in relation to that, color. Hindi rin tinatanong kung ikaw ay Kristiyano, Muslim, o wala ka bang relihiyon. So hindi yung kasama sa definition of person. So meaning, the definition of person in St. Thomas transcends, no? All of these. Of course, these things are important. Gender, race, color, religion, but they are secondary. Okay? So hindi ito ang mag-define sa atin bilang tao. They're important aspects and parts of you, but they do not define you as a person. So these are not the entire basis of you, of who you are. So neither gender, race, color, religion, or even social status, these are not the entire basis of who you are as a person. Now, the second implication of freedom is being an image. And kapag sinabi natin image, it's like looking at the mirror. Okay? So, seeing one's reflection. So, ganun din yung pagiging image of God. So, kumbaga, ang Diyos ay merong reflection sa angels, ang Diyos ay meron ding reflection sa tao. So, because these two are His images. So, para bang kumbaga, kapag tumitingin ang Diyos sa anghel at sa tao, ay para siyang tumitingin sa salamin. So, yung image na nandoon sa salamin, yun yung kanyang image of God, no? So, ganun din yung tao, ganun din yung angels, no? So, humans are created in the image of God. So, yan. Sabi natin, reflection, just like a reflection in the mirror. So, humans reflect God's image through their ability to choose, to reason, to choose freely, and have a relationship with God. So, the capacity for intellect, will, and the ability to know and love God are central to being made in God's image. So, bakit natin hindi nasasabi na yung plants, animals, other creatures are also images. So these are reserved only for angels and human persons. So babalik tayo sa definition ng person. So bakit nga ba sila naging person? It's because of their capacity for intellect, will, and thus having this ability to know and love God. Now, so binigay ito sa tao. At kapag yung tao, conscious siya at deliberate, no? That he is seeking union with his creator, with God. So the more that he can fully reflect the image of God. Now, we proceed to the last implication, which is dignity. So, lagi natin sasabi, okay, human rights, human dignity. Okay, these are very important notions, no? But let's take a look at what St. Thomas says about it. So, dignity signifies something's goodness on account of himself or herself. So that's coming from St. Thomas's commentary on the sentences of the medieval theologian Peter Lombard. So dignity signifies someone's goodness on the account of himself or herself. So meaning, Yung taong may dignidad, dignity, o yung isang bagay, isang being na may dignity, ay nangangahulugan na meron siyang kabutihan, someone's goodness, on the account of being himself or herself. So meaning intrinsic, meaning it flows from within. So yung dignity na ito flows from within because of goodness. So meaning sa i-apply natin sa tao, so meron tayo na tawag na human dignity because ang bawat tao ay merong goodness in himself that flows from within. So hindi ito galing sa labas, kung hindi yung dignidad na ito ay it flows from within, galing mismo sa pagiging tao ng isang tao. So yun yan, kaya sabi nung second point natin, such dignity of a person is coming from being a person. So yun yung unang-una. Dahil tao ka, kaya ka merong dignidad. So kaya dapat, because of that, kaya dapat irerespeto yung dignidad mo. So hindi ito yung dignidad na ito ay hindi binibigay sa iyo na ng ibang tao, kung hindi ikaw mismo sa pagiging tao mo ay meron kang dignidad. So the pursuit of man's ultimate end, union with God, is what gives humans their highest dignity. So guys, sabi natin kanina, because human persons, just like angels, so they are in pursuit, no, of the union with God. So it's the one that's giving them their highest dignity. Now, this flows from man's dignity. From these flows man's dignity, which also includes moral responsibility. So meaning, dahil nga ang tao ay is a person at siya ay image ng Diyos, no? So from that, having this dignity, also comes moral responsibility. So meaning to live according to reason and to seek the good. And also the moral responsibility to respect the dignity of other person. So hindi lamang siya galing nga sa labas na ay irerespeto ko siya kasi ah, ako yung magbibigay, no, ng respeto sa kanya ng according to his worth. But irerespeto ko siya kasi nga siya ay tao. Ganun kasimple. Irerespeto ko siya dahil siya ay image ng Diyos. Okay? So yung dignidad na iyon, yung respeto na ibibigay dahil sa dignidad na iyon, ay galing hindi sa akin na nakatingin sa isang tao, kung hindi galing mismo sa kalooban, no, ng tao na iyon. So bakit? Dahil nga siya ay isang tao at siya ay image ng Diyos. Now, some challenges to human dignity. So, kindly check the PDF, no, if you have time. Meron tayong article na sinend sa inyo, I think, some weeks or days ago. The title of the article is Thomas Aquinas and Recent Questions About Human Dignity. And I'll just give here the examples, no? It's happening, no? These are realities that we have to face. So, halimbawa, ito yung proposals, no? Ano yung mga nag-challenge sa human dignity? So, kung daw yung matanda, meron ng dementia, they are already a burden, no, to the rest of the society. So, nagiging pabigat na yung mga tao may dementia and they should be eliminated. Now, another thing is that it is permissible to kill newborns for any reason. So, until they are 2 years old, since hanggat hindi pa sila 2 years old, they lack self-awareness over time and they contribute nothing to society. Okay, so meaning si elderly na meron ng dementia, yung mga bagong panganak na wala namang naiko-contribute sa society, dahil nga wala silang naiko-contribute, pwede na silang i-eliminate. So these are current challenges, no, to human dignity. Yung proposal niyan is nung dalawang example na yung nabanggit, which you can read in full sa ating article. These are examples given by Peter Singer. He's an Australian philosopher. At in general, yung kanyang philosophy is that man and non-rational animals are actually equal. So meaning, hindi, kumbaga, yun nga, yung may dementia, yung baby, ang worth nila, sabihin natin, ang dignity nila ay para lang din namang katulad ng sa mga hayop, sa non-rational animals. So, in a way, he's advocating that, well, man and non-rational animals are actually equal. So, yeah, I'm not endorsing it. I'm just stating the fact that meron ganito, no? So, meron ganito na mga philosophies. And yeah, I take it as a challenge, no? Challenge to human dignity. Another challenge to human dignity. This is coming from centuries ago, and well, it's still baga, it's still a challenge until today. Exploitation of man and labor. Okay? So meaning, yung dignidad ng tao ay hindi na naipapakita kapag siya ay merong abuse, no, in terms of labor, to the point that uh, they are alienated, no, from the products of their labor. Ano ang example, isang example, concrete example ito, if there's no fair compensation. So, yun yung sinabi ni Karl Marx. I personally don't agree with how Marx responded to these challenges, but pero yung mga uh, yung facts that he laid down are true, no? So there's really exploitation labor, merong unfair compensation halimbawa, and these are also challenges, no? To human dignity. Okay, so doon sa binigay ni Peter Singer at yung challenge na pinopost, no, ni Karl Marx, no, sa isang capitalist society, uh, to sum it up, pwede sabihin na lagi natin tandaan na ang tao ay higit man sa anumang kaya niyang gawin. So yung pagrespeto, yung pagkakaroon ng dignidad ng isang tao ay hindi lamang nakabase sa kung ano ang kaya niyang gawin. So meaning, yung baby, kahit wala pa siyang kayang gawin, yung tao may demensya, matanda na, dahil hindi na niya kayang gawin, yung dati niya kayang gawin, ay hindi ibig sabihin na hindi natin sila i-consider as persons, as human persons, no? So bakit? Sapagkat, yun nga, yung pagiging tao ay hindi naman nakabase sa kung ano ang kaya lang natin gawin. So ang tao, ikaw, ay higit ka sa anuman na kaya mong gawin. So what underlies personal dignity is not a set of rational capacities. So meaning, kaya nga, balik tayo sa mga nababagit natin kanina, yung tao ay hindi lamang because na in operation yung kanyang rational capacities, and not also based on what he can give to society. So, ibig sabihin, yun yan, baby, tao may dementia, may intellectual disability, so person in coma, may sakit. So, hindi dahil wala na silang konkretong na ibibigay sa society, ay pwede na silang i-eliminate. So, saan galing yung personal dignity? One's individual existence. Because he has freedom, he is a human person, he is uh, made in the image of God. So, this dignity, kaya nabay ko kanina, is not given by others, no? It is not dependent on other people, but it lies in the inherent goodness given by God to humans. Okay? So, doon galing yun. So kaya kapag binilate natin yung dignidad ng isang tao, actually we are responsible to God who has given this inherent goodness. So, we ask this question. Now, how do we treat others? So given that na, okay, so kailangan na irespeto natin ang dignidad ng bawat isa, ay we proceed to the question, okay, so how are we to treat others? And we know this golden rule, no? Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Of course, it's expressed by Jesus as in the New Testament. Confucius, si Kongzi in Chinese philosophy also has his own version. But basically, it boils to this philosophy that do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And so we proceed to the lesson on relationality. So we have here, I'll mention three philosophers aside from St. Thomas. So first one, we have Martin Buber. And para sa kanya, there's an I-it relationship. What does that mean? So it means that I'm it and I thou. So it means that yung tao, hindi dapat itatratuhin bilang it, bilang bagay, kung hindi bilang tao, bilang another thou, bilang another you. Pangalawa, we also have Gabriel Marcel. And so sa pag-treat natin ng dignity ng ibang tao, so we have to bear in mind that true human existence is always shared with others. We exist in relation to others. And this relationality defines the nature of our being. So the other person, is not simply an object to be studied or used, but it is subject on its own with dignity and interiority, o yung kanyang technical term, subjectivity. So the other is a mystery. Sabi natin last time, life is not a problem to be solved, but a mystery, no? To behold, no? And that is true also in treating the other person. So it's like a mystery, no? That cannot be controlled, and not only a mere object of knowledge. So authentic human existence is grounded in relationships. So these relationships are not merely functional or transactional, but are existential and profound. Of course, in human life, meron naman tayong transactional or functional relationships. But the invitation is for us to go deeper and to have these existential and profound relationships, no? Through the mystery of the other, love and commitment, human beings find meaning and purpose in life. So meaning, sa buhay, yung pag ang transactions mo lang sa ibang tao ay, ang relationship mo lang sa ibang tao ay transactional, so hindi kita talaga doon tunay na makakahanap, no? Ng kahulugan. So human beings find meaning in the mystery of the other, in love, in commitment, in existential and profound relationships. I think nabanggit na rin natin ito sa lessons natin before the prelims. When we look at the other person, we look at the face of the other. So meaning yung taong kausap natin ay merong mukha. Okay? So hindi lamang siya, sabi ni Gabriel Marcel, hindi lamang siya object of study. Hindi lamang siya katulad ng ibang bagay dito sa mundong ito, no? So yung kausap natin ay merong mukha. So tulad natin, kapwa-tao natin, and when we encounter, no, this other's face, we're confronted with their humanity, and this creates an obligation to respond with care, respect, and justice. So, yun yung tatlong philosophers, Buber, Marcel, and Levinas. Ngayon, kasi Thomas, meron din siyang binamagit. So, humans are inherently relational because they are created by God for community and connection. So, para sa akin, mas malalim, no? Yung pinahuhugutan, pinagagalingan ng relationality kay St. Thomas. Ang relationality para sa kanya ay galing mismo sa Diyos. Okay? So, we relate to one another because first and foremost, we are related to God. And we proceed to the third one. Yeah, he also stresses, no, the importance of love, charity, and justice in these relationships, reflecting the divine order and purpose in human life. So meaning, kung paanong ang Diyos, He gives love, charity, and justice to us, no? He is just in treating us. So ganun din tayo, no? So ganun tayo dapat sa bawat isa. Sabi nga nung isang poet, no? English poet na si John Donne, sabi niya, no man is an island, entire of itself. Every man is a piece of the continent, a part of the me. So meaning, kahit gusto nating mag-isa, no? So we cannot really be individualistic absolutely. So because no man is an island, entire of itself. Each of us is a part of the me. And if I leave something, no, sa ating course na ito, I think this should be it. Balikan natin yung una nating discussion sa pagpapakatao, no? So para sa akin yung pagpapakatao ay pakikipagkapwa-tao. So paano lumalabas, no? Yung tunay nating pagkatao, pagiging tao natin, ito ay nasa pakikipagkapwa-tao. And this is an invitation for us, no? This is an invitation, my invitation for you, especially this coming Christmas season, no? Na in our own little way ay kung saang paraan man ay ipakita natin, ipahayag natin, no? Yung ating pakikipagkapwa-tao, yung ating pakikipagkapwa sa ibang tao. So, meaning, nandoon yung pagdamay, nandoon yung pagtulong, nandoon yung ah, pag-alalay, no? Sa kung ano man yung kinakaharap nila sa buhay. So, I'll give some instructions on this later on. So, but the point is that, paano tayo tunay na magiging tao para sa akin, eh, may papakita natin ito kung tayo ay nakikipagkapwa-tao. And this brings us to the last lesson, which is about happiness. So, happiness for me is only real when it is shared. So happiness is only real when it is shared. Okay? So yung happiness, tunay lamang ito kapag tayo ay uh, binabahagi natin ito sa iba. So it's coming from a novel, no? Entitled Into the Wild. Happiness is only real when shared. So meaning, kung masyado akong individualistic, masyado akong selfish, pwede nating matanong, uh, talaga bang masaya, no? Yung taong ito. Because happiness is only real when shared. So, for St. Thomas, happiness is an end. It's an end, the ultimate goal for which human beings strive. All other goods and actions are sought in relation to this ultimate end, which is union with God. And virtues play a central role in this pursuit because it enables individuals to live in harmony and reason and divine law, ultimately preparing them for the fulfillment that comes from God alone. So happiness is that which we strive for. Sabi natin, I think in some of you know mentioned the Greek term, eudaimonia in Greek. So that's the same thing. It's happiness, no? The end which we all strive for. For St. Thomas, true happiness is found in the ultimate union with God. So bakit? Kasi kung maalala nyo, yung ating process of knowledge, yung ating process of volition, no? Yung will, truth, and good, yung hindi titigil yung intellect hanggang hindi niya natatagpuan yung what is true, yung the supreme truth, hindi niya titigil ang will hanggang hindi niya natatagpuan yung true good. Okay? Yung highest good, yung highest truth. Okay? So, yung true happiness can only be found in God para kay St. Thomas. So, kasi nga, we can have these steps, no? Okay, material things, family, friends, of course, they all bring us happiness, pero meron pa rin kulang. Okay? So, kahit na punuin natin yung ating sarili with these things, kulang pa rin. Okay? So, true happiness can be found in ultimate union with God. Okay, so while earthly good, pleasure can bring temporary happiness, and they're valid, no? I mean, they're important also in life. Lasting fulfillment comes naman from living virtuous life in accordance with divine purpose. So, having this aim, no? Having this end, which is union with God. So true happiness or beatitude, technical term for St. Thomas, is the fulfillment of human nature. Yun nga, kasi narating mo na yung true, yung supreme truth. Narating mo na yung supreme good. Wala ka nang hahanapin after this. Sabi nga ni St. Augustine, my heart is restless, no? Until it rests in you. And this can only be found in union with God. So natural happiness, valid siya. I mean, we can really be happy with these things. Pero nga, may kulang pa rin. Okay, so fulfillment of human desires achieved with through the moral virtues. Uh, so they cannot provide perfect happiness. So health, knowledge, friendship, important siya, pero they are transient and cannot provide the ultimate fulfillment. On the other hand, supernatural happiness, the true and lasting happiness found in the beatific vision, the vision of God, is beyond these earthly goods. This happiness transcends anything that can be achieved through human effort alone. So, it is a gift from God. Realize in the next slide. Uh, and the virtues which help us to achieve this ay yung nandoon sa main building. Okay? So kung tinan niyo yung main building, may nakalagay doon, tria ec. It's Latin which means these three. Ano yung these three na binabanggit dyan? Faith, hope, and love or charity. So yeah, so these are the theological virtues. Theological virtues of faith, hope, and charity are essential for achieving this supernatural happiness as they orient the soul towards God. So supernatural happiness can be achieved once we see God face to face, the vision of God. Now, this is my take on that. So to achieve that true happiness, of course, sabihin natin, Father, sabi nyo, supernatural pala yun, no? Meaning, it's something uh, concerning the next life. Well, yeah. But to achieve this true happiness, we can begin by creating a more humane world in this life. Okay? So hindi lamang siya something that this true happiness, of course, is something that we look forward to. Pero hindi lamang siya para bang hindi doon magsisimula, no? Sa buhay na yun. Kung hindi sisimula na natin sa buhay na ito. We begin by creating a more humane world. Well, sabihin natin, Father, no, actually, nakaka-disappoint ang mundo, nakaka-disappoint ang buhay. Well, yeah, but with all its sham, drudgery, and broken dreams, it is still a beautiful world. So, and in creating such a more humane world, sabihin natin, Father, ako first year student sa UST, ano naman ang maika-contribute ko sa uh, sa pag-create ng more humane world na ito uh, sa uh, paggawa, sa pagtataguyod ng isang mundong makatao, no? Well, I like to share this story. Perhaps you've uh, heard of this before. So minsan daw, merong isang mama na nakita niya yung isang bata, no? Meron siyang pinupulot sa may dalampasigan, may seashore. And pinupulot niya, then binabalik niya sa dagat, no? Then he approached the boy and he asked, so anong ginagawa mo? What are you doing? Tapos ang sabi ng bata, binabalik ko po yung starfish, no? Doon sa ocean. So the surf is up and the tide is going out. So if I don't throw them back, they will die, no? And sabi ng mama, son, don't you realize that there are miles and miles of beach and hundreds of starfish, no? So, well, you can make a difference, no? So, meaning, ang daming problema. Ang daming, kumbaga, the ocean is so wide and the starfish are so many, well, hindi ka matatapos, no? So, and then after listening politely, the boy went down, picked up another starfish, and threw it back into the surf. Then smiling at the man, he said, I made a difference for that one. So meaning the ocean, the sea is vast. There are many starfish, but we can at least make a difference to one. So maraming problema ang mundo. Okay, the call to create a more humane world is so vast, but we can make a little step. So we can contribute no matter how small it may be. So as human persons, we can make a difference. And to end, this is my invitation for all of you, no? In creating this more humane world, sa pagbuo natin sa mundong mas makatao, ay be the change you wish to see in the world. So meaning, nareklamo tayo, ganito ang politika natin, ganito, ganyan. Yung gobyerno natin, ganito. Yung buhay sa mundo, baka wala ng pag-asa. So, sa mga bagay na nakita natin, narinig natin sa ating paligid, ang invitation sa atin, no matter how small yung makakontribute natin, be the change you wish to see in the world. And with that, we end this semester. Thank you very much for your patience. No, I wish that we can do better. But yeah, due to time constraint and my limitations, no. So hanggang na lang muna. Now, last thing, as regards to the exam, it will be essay. I'll give you, well, relatively easy questions. And I'm going to post the questions in a few days to be submitted until next Friday, December 20. So the rest of the instructions will be given. Okay, so thank you very much to all of you, and I wish you and your families a blessed Christmas and prosperous New Year.